Welcome to Let's Talk Miracles with your host, Mary Beth Stevenson. Mary Beth says she's absolutely thrilled to embark on this transformative journey with you. This show is all about embracing the boundless potential within ourselves to create the reality of our dreams. Having lived her entire life guided by the principles of positive thinking and the wisdom of universal laws, Mary Beth is passionate about sharing the keys to unlocking your own limitless potential. So please welcome the host of Let's Talk Miracles, Mary Beth Stevenson.
Hi, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. You are watching Bold Brave TV. Let's Talk Miracles. I am your host, Mary Beth Stevenson. So I'm just going to get right into it this week because I've been gone a couple weeks. Everything's great, but I'm back. I'm ready to go. The energy is flooding and filling me with information for you guys, and I'm excited to get into it. I hope I can relay it as I'm being giving it. So I surrender to you, mighty I am presence, and know that it is your command that has this show. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the fact that we are deliberate creators. Why this is so important right now is because, without getting political, without getting into conspiracy theories, there is a lot going on in our world. A lot. Every day we're put into fear about what could happen, which basically I could do a whole show on worry and what that does to us, what it does to us in our health, what it does to our mental health, let alone our physical. What worry does, to literally worry about something, to think a thought that has not occurred yet, is not only the most stupid thing we could ever do and a waste of our energy, it's dangerous. I'm not saying we all don't do it. I'm just saying if you think about it, and if we were a little bit more awake and we had to give information to others, think about how we would explain worry. Oh, well, worry is something that actually it hasn't occurred yet, but we're going to play the worst case scenario, and then for the next week, 2 years, we're going to fear that it could happen. What the hell? They'd be like, what are you, an idiot? We don't have to do that. But that gets into deliberate creating, because when we're coming from fear and worry, we are creating our reality in that state. And because we don't know how powerful we are, because we don't realize that presence of I am inside of us, we just think it's become a normal way to think and feel. It's in worry, it's in fear, and we have to stop. We are affecting the world. We are affecting, hey, if you take it from a narcissistic or a selfish viewpoint, your own world. If you only knew what you're doing to your very own little precious world from worry and from thoughts that haven't occurred yet, from feelings that we literally put ourselves where we, and I know this is, think about how, okay, this is what I want to get into. It's so exciting. I'm getting the thoughts so fast that I hope I say them correctly. Okay, so let me take a breath. Never, ever forget who you are. Never forget who you are. Because when you realize the power of little old Jill and that you're here creating the reality that you're living in, the more awareness you give to that, the better your life becomes. So, okay, never forget the dream. This is a big one. We are taught to keep it small, right? Keep it logical. That doesn't, we're just taught that. We're taught to be small. We're taught that imagination is for children, and I've gotten into this a million times. It's not. It's where every thought goes. It's where we get our desires from our higher self. It throws into our imagination, it becomes a desire, then that becomes a thought, and then the more awareness and energy and attention you give to that thought, then it becomes a belief. Beliefs become habits, becomes your personality. Boom, there's your life. It really does flow. When you become aware that you are a deliberate creator of your very own world, so when you're thinking about thoughts that have not occurred yet, and you're not thinking in the dream, you're not thinking in I guess what I'm trying to say is it's the same thing. It always feels more logical and more reasonable to worry about something than it does to have a dream that hasn't happened yet and to believe something before it happens. Okay, so what I'm saying on that, and listen, because this is good stuff. Thank you. It's good stuff because what I'm saying is we think that it's okay to worry about something that hasn't occurred. That makes sense to us. What doesn't make sense is to have a big dream and think and feel as though it already happened, because that just seems fairy tale-ish. That just seems like we're not living in reality. But we got it all confused, you guys. You have to see it and believe it before you can become it. And that's a fact, Jack. That's a universal law. It doesn't happen any other way. Now we can babe, can you fix this? We can hammer it down. We can pretend that that's not the case, but it is. It's the facts. So what I'm trying to say is, if we're waiting for a new job, it's okay to worry about not paying the rent. Okay. What's not okay in our world is to know that a job is coming, to not give it any worry or fear, to live in the harmony of knowing that a job is coming, because that seems irresponsible. Well, what do you mean you're happy today? You don't have a job. It's like we're not allowed to do that. But that's messing us up. It's messing us up big time. So today we're here to learn again about who we are, how to do it. It's easy peasy. It's not simple. The basis is just feel good every day. When you can feel good in the moment, when you can feel good throughout your day, you are putting an energy out into the universe to let it know this is how you want to feel, and then the universe starts sending you things to feel good about. Okay, think of it like a big game. It's just a game that you're playing. It's a big hologram. Even when, never forget the dream, even when it's not logical, when the reality you have created for now looks very different. So this is, guys, I'm reading off of my own notes here that I've written down during the week. So we don't like to take responsibility for the minutia that we've created in our life, because who wants to think that you would have created something so ridiculous? But once you become aware of this, and once you become aware of how to do it, you become aware that you're doing it. So there's no going back. You can't, it's like, damn, you know how sometimes you're like, God, I wish I didn't know that much, because now that you know, and you can't go back, and you got to give it all that you have to shift things around to create it the way that you want to do it. Where do you start? Just start feeling good. Just think thoughts that allow you to feel good. All you need is 17 seconds. Get a thought that makes you feel good. Hold that vibration for 17 seconds, and the universe will send you another one. And trust me, when you wake up feeling overwhelmed in the morning and bad, think of how quickly your brain goes into all the reasons why you should feel bad, all the reasons why you should worry. Well, you should worry because, after all, your rent's this much and you're only making this much, and oh my God, how are we going to pay it? But did you ever notice that when you're happy and you're paying your rent that month, you're like, we'll be okay, everything, we'll be okay, we'll get through. You do. You always get through it. It's like we don't have to create something horrible in order to receive something wonderful. Miracles happen every day all around us, synchronicities. You just have to start to be aware of them. Stop being aware of the things that don't work and start being aware of the things that do. Okay, I'll stop with that one. This is faith. There's only two ways to go here. Faith or fear. Faith or fear. One or the other. If you're not in faith, then you're in fear. If you're not in the knowing that what you're doing, thinking, feeling, saying is what you're becoming, then you're normally in the fact that you're worrying about what you're not, or you're giving so much energy and attention to what you don't have because you want it, and money is a big one. Weight is another big one. You're so hyped up in the what you're not, in what you don't have, that you're not allowing the universe to bring into you what you desire. You are the resistance at that point. There's always going to be tension from where you want to be and where you're at now. That's the game of life. That's the adventure. It's so cool because where you want to be and where you're at now is a desire that comes into your mind, a thought comes into your imagination. You start to play with it. Or wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? It's not logical. It's too big, blah, blah, blah. But wouldn't it be nice? And then what we don't realize is once you think it and you give it attention, it's already there. It's already done. So in one reality, all the beloved beings of light that are assisting us on this planet, or whatever you believe gives you breath, they're already there. They're waiting for you. They're cheering you on. They're done with the nonsense that we're in right now. What we came here to do is play the game. That's how we expand consciousness. Everything just got so convoluted hundreds of thousands of years ago that we've forgotten how to play. And because of energies that are negative, and when you're extremely negative, if you're not suicidal, then you can become very narcissistic in that negative energy, and it feels powerful. When you're in the positive, when you're in the light heart and the free spirit, when you're in the good things happen, when you're in the I believe in miracles, when you're in the everything is in divine order. Just I put it out there. I'm just going to allow the universe to bring me the people, places, situations, and circumstances that are going to make it happen. When you're in that flow, the beauty of it. 17 seconds, start to believe that you're in that flow. For 17 seconds, start to think and feel, what if it already happened? So let's play with $100 million or $10 million or $1 million. What if I did get $1 million? What would that be like if I could pay all my bills? You have to allow yourself the awareness of the feeling. Close your eyes just for 1 minute and say, what is it like? And we've all been there at one point. Just remember that feeling. Just remember that feeling of how good it feels when everything is taken care of. Take that feeling and then go to your next thought and just take that feeling with you in your next thought that you desire. That feeling, then the universe will start pouring thoughts that match that feeling because that's your energy and that's how it flows. The problem is it flows the same way when you're thinking and feeling in the form of fear, not faith, in worry, in shame, in guilt, in doubt. Man, oh day, they can crumble on. You want to talk about 17 seconds with a thought? You guys, for the longest period of time, I would wake up in the morning and I would think about stuff and feel guilty. Shit that happened, oh my God, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, stuff that didn't really even matter then. And it's like this. It's like, if you want to know how powerful you are, And to finish that thought, so what would happen is I'd wake up in the morning, I'd have all these guilt and fears and shame about stuff that maybe I didn't even do, but what if I did? It's like, snap out of it, Mary Beth. What do you mean, what if you did? You didn't even do it. Well, that's what we do. So if you want to know how powerful you are, think about this, okay? We know that if we're standing on a 50-foot building and we jump off, that we're going to die, right? We know that. We don't need the experience of jumping off that building and dying in order to know it. So how do we know it? Well, we know it because we've seen people that have jumped off 50-foot buildings and splatted. Honestly, we've also seen many people who've had many miracles and haven't, but you get my point with this. You could put yourself in a state of fear about falling off that 50-foot building, even though it never happened. So do that with something that you desire. Use that same power. Use that philosophy to create something good, okay? So it's like a video game. It's like a big hologram. So sometimes we create unawarely really different levels, which are weeks and months and years, where we don't beat the big boss, okay? Where things just aren't going well. It just seems like struggle. It just feels like you can't get to it. You want it so bad. But I'm doing everything right. I'm saying it. I'm thinking it. I'm doing affirmations. I'm feeling it. But you're not getting it. There's too much resistance in the separation of you having it. Well, what do you mean? How am I supposed to feel like I have $1 million when I can't even pay my rent? That's just ridiculous. That's not logical. There is no logic in miracles. There is no logic in God. God is not logical. We are not placed here to be small. We're just trained that way and programmed that way. When you start realizing, when you start looking at your own life and all the good things that happen, think about what happened before it. Think about your involvement in the good things that happen, and you'll see that you had everything to do with it. Even if it's something like, I had the best job of my life. I worked for 25 years, never worked a day in my life, literally was paid to be myself. I didn't tell God, I want that. I want to get up every morning and go to work and never feel like I'm working. I never said that to God. I never said, put me in this industry. I want to be really good at what I do. I want to do what I love. I didn't say that. But I didn't need to at that time because I only knew this way of thinking. So what happened from just being positive and just being loving and lighthearted and free-spirited, I didn't even know what worry was back when I was growing up because I never did it. I was trained differently. Therefore, the universe just brought into my life all these wonderful, amazing things. And that's how I lived until I was 50, in my 50s. And I had a severe trauma, and I went the other way, and I learned. I had to learn what it was like to live in worry, doubt, shame, guilt, fear, and it sucks. And man, I'll tell you, for as much as I knew, you think any of that did anything for me at that moment when I was in that black hole and could feel nothing? I couldn't seem to get my arms around it. I don't know why, but all I know is I was able to come out of it because of this. And, you know, so are you. So are you able to come out of it no matter where you're at in life. It is not over until it's over. And when it's over, it's meant to be over, which is the beautiful thing about life. So when it's your time, it's your time. And unless you're doing something to, take your own life, your time is your time. Why not enjoy it up until the very end? That's what we're here to do. You have no idea how much support is waiting for you to understand just that. When you can understand that we're here to have a light heart, a free spirit, to revel in you and how wonderful you are, because we all are different. We are all so very different, but we're all part of the same humanity race. We all come from the same source. But our differences is what makes the expansion of consciousness. So where we're at right now in the world is at a place that we have never, ever been before, ever in the beginning of Earth. We have never been this far in consciousness. And when I tell you we are being watched from beings of light and other planets and assisted in ways that we have never been assisted before. You know why? Because we're flippin' amazing. And even though that we are told every day how horrific it is out there in the world, and the absolutely God forsaken things that are being done with children and kidnapping and pedophiles, and yeah, we're hearing about it because consciousness won't allow it to be still anymore. That, my friends, is big. It's coming up so we can bubble it out. Everything that needs to be washed away has to become up in awareness. Same goes for anything you're trying to let go of. Any traumas that are deep, they got to come up and rise up so they can be let go of. And that's why everything can be knocking at your door all the time. That's why you can't be comfortable just sitting in your own skin sometimes, because times are changing. Buckle up, people. The universe is going very rapidly, and you're the one driving it. How wild is that? You're the one driving it. It's so cool, you guys. So, months could go, years could go. That depends on you. How far are you from what you created? How much attention and energy are you giving to what you want and don't have? Because that's not the way to create something, is by giving it attention. Is it difficult? At times it is, but that's up to you on a daily basis. Get your head into the new game of the desire being fulfilled, as opposed to, why isn't it coming fast enough? I want it now. I'm doing all the right things. If you were doing all the right things, you'd already have it. And trust me, once you get this, if we knew it as well and as easy as it actually is, we'd be asking, how do we uncreate things? If you like fast cars, you'd be like, oh God, I have now 106 fast cars. I can never drive them all. That's how easy it is to do this manifestation thing. When you're a vibrational match to what it is that you desire, that's the tension rod. How do you get to be a vibrational match to what you desire? You have to give your thought and feelings to it as if it's already done. Now, I understand that it's very difficult for some people to do that. Well, it's not done. How am I supposed to think and feel as if it is? You don't have to. What you have to do is think about the feeling you would have as if it was done. If your imagination won't allow you to go that far right away, then think about something that makes you feel peaceful and happy, and think about a feeling, a memory of a feeling of happiness, and when you weren't worried about money, and pull yourself a memory. Watch a movie if you have to, where you're so engaged in the movie, especially for people that aren't empaths, because empaths, we have no boundaries. We're all over the place. People that are extremely left brain most of the time and aren't very empathic, they can sometimes have a hard time with imagination and putting themselves in those places. But you know as well as I do, you've all been there, because it's universal law, so it has to happen. It's not like you could say that's never happened to me. It's the law. It's how the universe works. Whatever you're giving your attention and energy to is going to manifest into your life. Now that goes into a whole new thing of how the neural pathways in the brain and how you create, and I'm not even going to go there. I'm just telling you Whatever you're thinking and feeling is what you're creating. If you don't like what you're creating, then you have to go in and pay attention to what you're thinking and feeling and change it. And how do you do that? By being aware of it every day. You know, this is the part that cracks me up. We tell ourselves a story every day. That's all we're doing. We're just telling ourselves a story that this is how our life looks and this is how we live it. It's only our story. Literally, it's just our perception. It seems real to us because that's the story we've been telling ourselves. But when you have something that occurs in your life that's like mind blowing, and it makes you realize that, Jesus, I told myself that story forever and I was wrong. When you have to open up, and normally we create a struggle to do that. Normally we create a bottom falling out. You know, as they say in AA, you have to hit bottom. You don't have to always hit bottom to get to the root. You don't. But that's what we sometimes create. We create a bottom. So, okay, if you've hit bottom, time to get back up. I created a bottom that nobody thought I was ever going to come out of, but I did. And I rose above and I'm back. And honestly, now is the first show you will ever hear me say, and I've done many, many over the years. Before TV were many, many podcasts. First time ever that I have said, I get it. I now, for the first time, get why I had to have my walk with the dark night of the soul. Why did I have to unlearn everything I lived for 55 years that was grand and beautiful and great and happy? Yes, yes, yes. Of course I dealt with bullshit. Yes, yes, yes. Of course I had sadness, grief, pain, dealt with addiction, dealt with abuse. Yes, I had all those things. But I rose above them because I knew how to think my way out of it and how to feel my way out of it. I knew how to pray. I didn't pray from desperation. You don't ever pray from being desperate. That's the problem. We get to the point where we're desperate. God, you have to help me. We are the ones we're praying to. It's about directing our energy. Every morning, we're the gift of getting up. If we're alive, then we're amazing. What are we doing that day with our energy? Are we directing it into our victim, into and I always use myself, you guys, because I don't want to tell my client stories. I don't want to do that, but I need you to pull a reference to yourselves and what I'm talking about. When I say you can be playing this game, and it might take you a month to beat to the next level, but it might take you 6 months, and it might take you a year, and it might take you 2 years. And then you might get him where you're almost beating him, but then, damn, every time you just get to where he's almost gone, something brings it back again. Yeah, that's life. That's life. But one of these times you're going to get it. And then you go to the next chapter of life and it just starts all over again because that's what we're here to do. We're just here for the adventures of life. So what we do is we put ourselves mostly through hell, but we come out, we play the game, we finally kill the boss, get to the next level, and we think it's just our new normal. We think, oh, I would have gotten there anyway. That's what we actually think, because we forget along the way the struggle and the fear and all the bullshit that was involved in it. We're just living in the new life and we're like, oh my gosh, this is great. And you're not taking credit where credit is due. You created that life. Hold on. So the reason things become different is due to your own beliefs and your programs. Not doing this makes it even harder. Think about it. Think about it. We're constantly told whenever we're going through it, or walk with the dark night of the soul, can look like addiction. It can look at, a nervous breakdown. It can look at mental health. It can look at physical health, that type of thing. It can look like being weight obsessed. It can look like many, many, many different things. The longer you're in it, the more neuropathways that you're creating to make these new thoughts habits, which is a problem, because then you're living in the habit of it, which is your personality, which becomes the new you. So the new you is becoming that you are in a state of mind that you don't want to live in. So that's when you have to grab yourself and hold on tight and know that there is a line there for you. And when you're praying or when you're asking for help, don't ask from the victimhood, because we're not victims. We are all that we desire to be. So if you're a part of God, if you're here like Jesus said that we are, you too can do all this and so much more. It's all done through conscious and subconscious mind. You know, what you fear will come upon you. What you fear will come upon you because you're giving your fear energy and attention. So that's why it comes upon you. When you're not giving it energy and attention, when you don't give it any fear, and next week I'm going to read you stuff from the I AM books, and they get into Satan and how that comes about, and how it started with just misguided energy, and that turned into, and yes, it can be deep and dark and growly and this and that, but all it is energy. There's only one energy. There's only light. That's all there is. Sometimes you can have the switch off and it can be dark, but all you have to do is turn the switch back on. Where there's light, there can be no darkness. It's so cool, but that's for another week. Okay, so let me get back on track here. So anytime you have a desire, you have to remember it's already out there. You've already told the universe what you desire. You don't have to hang on it every day. You don't have to beg for it every day. What you have to do is pray from a knowing place. And I know this works, and I know you can do it no matter how low you are, no matter how painful it is that you're going through. You can reword your prayers like this. Okay, say you're in an abusive marriage, and but you're madly in love with your husband, and you just can't see your life without him. You pray like, okay, God, this is what I want. So you describe, feel, want, and willing. This is how I want to feel. I want to feel happy every day when I wake up. I want to be with someone that really loves me, that thinks I'm all that in a bag of chips, as they said back in the day, that thinks I'm adorable, that takes the things that are annoying about me and thinks they're cute, that puts me on a pedestal, not higher than you should be, but actually thinks that much of me. And I want to feel the same way about him. If it's not my husband right now, then you need to give me insight and inner peace. And this has to end in a peaceful way. And the new person has to come in a joyful way. So for right now, I'm just praying to get me and the husband through this in a way that's peaceful. Keep me peaceful, God. Keep me peaceful in my heart. I don't want to live in this pain anymore. And I promise you, when your prayers have an open mind for God to come in, the universe starts doing stuff for you that's unimaginable. Excuse me. I promise you, don't pray from a victimhood like, oh my God, God, I can't take another day like this. It's every single day he hates me. Make him love me. Make him love you. That's you're coming from fear and a victim. God's just here saying, hello, my child, you have free will. Whatever you want to experience, I'm going to allow you this planet of Earth to experience. You're playing the game. So the universe only gives you back more of what you're thinking and feeling. So when you're in that state of fear and all your energy and attention is going to, oh my God, that fearful state, man, you're giving that fear a lot of energy and attention, and the universe is saying, okay, check it out. She wants more of that. And you're just going to get more of it and more of it and more of it. When you take hold and you throw up your hands and say, excuse me, I can't live like this anymore. I'm done. I need help. I want to feel, and then you just start feel, write down what you want to feel and how you want to feel in your everyday. 1, here's what I want. I want a happy marriage. I want my husband to love and get along with my children on an everyday basis. I don't want the arguments anymore, God. And then you list all the things that you want. Here's how you want to feel. Here's what you want out of life. Here's what you're willing to do. What can I do with where I am at and what I have right now? So we tend to think that if people would just throw money at us, it would fix all of our problems. It doesn't, you guys. We're here to experience life. Don't misunderstand me. Help can come at any time financially, and it can make a very big difference in your life, but it will not solve your problems. And if you desire money, there are magical ways to create it. We're all money magnets. We really are. The problem that we have is we give so much energy and attention to not having it that we end up creating more not having it because we're always worried and fearful that it's not enough. So somehow we have to calm ourselves down and realize that, you know what, I have a lot. You have to start giving gratitude to what you do have. And then I desire a home in California. I have a beautiful condo. And I love it here, and I do. And could I live here for the rest of my days? Absolutely. But I desire to have a home out here near the beach. I mean, I'm only 10 minutes from the beach. All I'm saying is you're allowed to desire and want more. That's what life is. You create, then you get to a wonderful new normal, and then you get new desires and you create again, and then that becomes an adventure, and then you get to the next new normal, and then you always think, oh, I would have gotten here anyway. No, you wouldn't have. The more aware you become of what you're thinking and feeling, the more power you honor in yourself. You're an incredible force to not be reckoned with. I am telling you, if we knew who we are and the power that we come with, we would never question ourselves again. We would never be without anything that we desire. And you know what else? We'd be loving and we'd be kind because it's a magical place to be. And we're here at a time that's unbelievable. I know there's a lot of ugly in the world, but if you knew what's going on the spiritual aspect of things, you'd be so excited, you guys. We're up at a time that's amazing, and we're winning. We are. We're winning. The light is winning. There's things that have been going on for like 20, 30 years, like it may not mean anything to you. It's called the harmonic conversion. That started how long ago? 25 years ago, maybe? The harmonic conversion. Anyway, the harmonic conversion. We actually have risen to the point, the crystals have opened up again in the universe to allow us to utilize gifts and talents that we were closed off from Atlantis. They're all opened up again. That's why we feel so messed up all the time, because we're feeling all these things. And it's like, look back at our parents. They didn't feel those things. You had food on the table, a roof over your head, you're good. It's not that way for us anymore. We don't feel that way. We want more than just food on the table and a roof over our head. We want it all. We want to feel good. If it's important to you to have a big house on the ocean and you're coming from love and that's what you're creating and harm to no one, and you're a good person and you're giving and sharing along the way, have it. Have it all. We're here to have it all. Don't feel guilty about your desires, okay? So, I want to dive into the imagination shapes and affects our reality. Have you ever wondered how simple the act of imagining can lead to tangible changes in your life? It does. It really does. So, imagination is more than just daydreaming or creative thinking. It's a super powerful tool that can influence our reality in absolutely profound ways. Give it a try. Give your imagination a chance. Energy is so powerful right now, you guys. That means anything we're putting into that energy field is extremely powerful. So be aware of your power and give it a go. Give the good to go. Dream bigger, think louder, be happier, do everything on the cutting edge. I'm telling you, if ever there was a time to be alive and on this planet and know that you were chosen to be here at this time, that you are an amazing being, it's right here and right now. Take off the veil, wake up. And I know we're hearing that all the times, and I don't even know what that means to you, but to me, it means be aware. Be aware. 17 seconds is all you need to hold a good thought until the universe will start sending you other good thoughts. And then when you're in that feeling of good, the universe will start sending you people, places, situations, circumstances. That becomes your adventure. That becomes the road that you travel to where you want to go, to that new apartment in a new area, to that little pretty garden that you've always wanted to build, to opening up your own store. Whatever your dream is, don't stop dreaming. Don't get caught up in this world and the ugly. And oh my God, nothing good happens. Do you see all that's happening? I know there's horrific things that are going on. You know what you could do about it? Because I know I personally can't stop some of the things that are going on in this world. I can't personally do it. What's my job? To know that something wonderful is going to happen. Things are being done about it. What can I do? I can pray about it in a very positive way. What I don't want to do is start talking about how horrific it is and giving energy and attention to things that haven't happened yet and thinking I'm doing good by talking about somebody else's demise. I'm not. Just know that you want good for all, harm to no one. Pray for the things that you desire. Keep the feeling as if they already have happened. And this, guys, goes as big and as small as you want it. If you see a friend and you're talking about them and you're saying, she never gets any phone calls, or she, her family completely ignores her. Is that what you want? Is that what you want for her? Because that's what you're giving her. More poison into something that she doesn't want created. And how can you assist her? You can say instead, you know what, God? Or Amy, or whoever it is you want to create for, in your mind, take a minute to see her as happy, see her as fulfilled, see her as getting everything that she desires in love, in harmony. Hey, if you know her family, put out to her family, I see all of them coming together and gathering for a wonderful picnic or dinner, and everybody's laughing and joking. That's what you can do for her. That is so powerful, but so is the part where you're like, her family's ridiculous, I hate all of them. That's literally poison that you're putting into her. You got to start to know who you are, and you have to start to take responsibility for all of your thoughts, not just the ones that you want to create something wonderful in. All of your thoughts, all those little things that you think you're helping out with by hating people because they've done wrong, and you want to hate them too for your friends and for family. You're not doing it any good. You're so powerful. You're literally pouring poison onto it. It's like having a garden and pouring acid all over it. But again, if you know who you are, then you know when you think a good thought based on what their conditions are at the time, which could be horrific, that only good is going to come out of it. Okay, so how are we with time? So we have a few more minutes left. So I want the science of all of this. Studies have shown the same neural pathways are activated when we imagine something as when we actually experience it. That's proven now. So think about that. The same neural pathways in your brain are activated when you actually have what it is you desire, or when you just feel like you have what you desire. So how do you create it into reality? Believe that it's already there and allow yourself in your imagination, close your eyes. People call it meditation. Allow yourself to go there and revel in that feeling. Revel in that feeling, guys. Like I said, buckle up. We're moving fast. This doesn't have to take long. You can literally change your reality as you know it now in days. In days, you could create something different for yourself that can turn into a whole new life within a very short amount of time. It used to take, think about this, it used to take ascendant masters hundreds of years and lifetimes to go out into deserts and to suffer and to find God. Now, bada bing, it can be done literally within 2 years. Within 2 years, you could ascend. Ascend, I mean, get way past this level of life. Ascend. So things are moving quick. Things are moving fast. You are the ones moving it. How are you moving it in your reality? Are you moving it into creating wonderful things and living in joy and laughter and love? Or are you creating it in havoc and nothing ever goes right for me? I got to go into that job that I hate, blah, 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 blah. There's got to be something about it that you like. There's got to be something in your day that you like. If you wake up and you have a day, a life that you're creating that isn't all that you desire it to be right now, find something. Find something that you like. And then every day, do something about the life that you desire it to be until you can sit with yourself and feel what it's like to be. For me, it's in that house on the ocean, standing there looking at my view with my whole family there, having barbecues, laughing, and all of our grandchildren there, together. And that's mine. But yours can be about a new job. Yours can be about a job. Yours can be about a new car, a car, anything you need. Believe it, and then you'll see it. I promise you. Think it and feel it, and it will come to you. Okay, guys, let's end this up. How can you apply this to your own life? Do a vision board, do a vision board. It's a tool that when you place imagines and words that represent your goals and your dreams, by regularly visualizing and putting yourself in these influences, all that does is bring it up to the top of your mind, and that's good because you're holding your thoughts for 17 seconds. So allow the good thoughts to come in for those 17 seconds. And then what if, and here's what'll happen, you'll start out with your imagination and a vision board and maybe, I don't know, a house in a certain neighborhood with a certain car in the driveway. I'm just giving material things, but this is working with mental health things in your physical body also. And then you think it's so far away, but you're going to give it your energy and attention. What happens is you might not even be aware that in a month or so you met somebody and they might have a car dealership. You're still not thinking that it has anything to do with your vision board. And that's the cool thing. That's what happens. The universe sends you people, places, situations, and circumstances that a year and a half later, you're in that neighborhood or a better one, if not this something better, because you want to be specific, but not so specific that you ruin your own creation. You want to be specific in what you desire, but always be open for something better. So you may not be in that exact neighborhood, but oh my gosh, you found this other one that was actually closer to your job and da-da-da-da, and the car that you wanted is now sitting in your driveway. And again, I'm going to material things, which this works for your physical and mental health, and getting love in your life, and being able to sleep sound at night. These are the things that are important, but they all come from just good thoughts and good feelings. All of it have to do, how are you feeling on a daily basis? So sit down with yourself, spend time alone with yourself. And if at first you're crying out and you're bringing up whatever it is you need to cry out, that's fine. But sit there long enough until you know what you desire, and put yourself for a few minutes a day in that desire as if it happened. What would it be like when I have the job that I love? What would that be like? Maybe you don't know what it is, but you know how you want to feel. You know how you want to dress. You know how you want to act. You know that confidence that happens to you when you get what you desired. So I am going to leave you all with that and say, reach out to me, letstalkmiracles.com, YouTube page, Let's Talk Miracles. If you guys have anything you want to say to me, it's at letstalkmiracles@gmail.com. I'm happy to be back. I'll see you guys next week. It's only getting better. I had to lay the groundwork so we can bring it to the next level next week. Okay, see you guys later. Mwah! Have a wonderful week.
This has been Let's Talk Miracles with your host, Mary Beth Stevenson. Mary Beth reminds us to remember, it's never too late to hit the reset button, no matter how challenging life may seem. With Mary Beth, you'll explore the extraordinary power of I Am and how to tap into the beloved mighty forces that resides within us all. Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, here on the Bold Brave TV network.